This is Talk Local to Me from the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Streaming live each week on Media Squatch Plus and available on demand in the app or wherever you get your podcasts. Local stories, local business, local impact.
I just like jam to the music a little bit.
Right.
I get it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to talk. So welcome everybody to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg, America's Choice in Home Care.
Yes. I hate when you pause because then I'm like, oh, let me just talk. And then I'm like, oh wait, never mind. You're gonna follow it up with the America's Choice in Home Care.
That's right.
So second episode of the new year. How's your new year starting out?
Oh, it's been busy.
Yeah, it's been different to say the least. It's been, I will say, a little stressful. The start of the new year for me has been very stressful. But we are...
Everything you put off from last year is now due.
Yeah, that. And there's just been a lot of changes and things happening. And,
right.
You know, you kind of got to roll with the punches and figure it out. New goals being set. And then, you know, yeah, you're doing a lot of pivoting already. I hate that word, but I'm already doing a lot of that. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. I feel like maybe a little bumpy start will lead to smooth sailing for the rest of the year. We'll see. We're going to keep our fingers crossed for
Get all the chaos out in the first couple of weeks of the year.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we do have a guest that's going to be calling in the second half of the show. And we're going to be talking with Tamika Younger about a upcoming conference that she has happening at the end of January that I think is going to be really exciting for our area leaders in our area, healthcare professionals in our area. And the cool thing is it does kind of tie in. We're going to be with the CVABC tying in a little bit into our upcoming conferences like we do in March, our Lead On conference, and then our women's conference in April, our Empower conference. So that's going to be a great kind of lead into those because I think, you know, we do a lot of these conferences more towards the beginning of the year because we want people to be able to utilize what they're learning and implement them as the year goes on.
Right.
And so for me, I mean, I guess, you know, you could do it at the end and get ready for the next year, but we have it's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
And good opportunities for people to go out and learn and build their business and implement new things and all of that. So I'm excited to hear more from her. So she should be calling in just a little bit, but we are going to chat a little bit more on the goals topic and then talk a little bit about, for those of you who are listening that are small businesses, what type of like tools or things that you can use in your business that will help like streamline operations. I think a lot of people, especially like I know for myself, when I first started, I would do certain things and I go, oh, I wish there was something that could help me do this, or I wish there was something. And there normally is something. You just don't know what's out there. Or you think, oh, it's going to be super expensive, or I can just do that myself. And I'm learning more and more that the more I can kind of look into different tools and options, it makes my day easier and less stressful. And so I just kind of wanted to highlight some of the things that I use or that I have heard about and some new things that we have coming out for the CVABC that's helpful to our members. So, yeah.
And we've got our first coffee talk of the year coming up on the 22nd at the Happy Waffle. So
no, the 30th is the Happy Waffle.
30th is the Happy Waffle.
Yeah.
What's the 22nd?
The 22nd is our Alta Vista
that's right.
coffee talk. So we'll be at the Spark Innovation Center in Alta Vista on Thursday, the 22nd. And then we have on the Friday, the 23rd, we have our Appomattox coffee talk at the Appomattox Inn and Suites. And then on the 30th, we have the one at the Happy Waffle. So those are 3 upcoming networking events. And you know, speaking of networking, I feel like that is one of the biggest tools people can use that costs you nothing but your time. I mean, it does cost your time, but I tell a lot of people, I had a member message me last maybe it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And they were, like, hey, we've used our billboard. We're getting ready to do the podcast in, March or April. What else is there? Like, what am I getting for my membership? And, speaking of tools, I always tell people the Central Virginia Business Coalition, in a way, is a tool for businesses. We're here to help you grow, promote yourself. But like any tool, you have to pick it up and use it in order for it to work properly. I always talk about like the hammer and the nail. The hammer doesn't just pick itself up and start, beating nails in. You have to physically pick it up and, do it for it to actually accomplish the job. So I messaged them back and I said, it's great that you've used some of these options, and that's what they're there for. But there's so many options you're not using. Like, I haven't seen you yet at a networking event we've done.
Right.
And, we host 3 or some, at least 3 a month. So there should be that opportunity to go out there. And when you're networking, building relationships, and I'm actually doing, you can put this on your calendar as well, because I'm doing a lunch and learn this month on the building authentic relationships and the power of networking.
Right.
I encourage anyone to come out to this, because I know network can be scary. People don't necessarily always like to get up in front of people and talk and walk into a room full of strangers and people they don't know. It's scary, and it can be daunting, and you don't want to be that person just hanging out in the corner drinking coffee by yourself.
Right.
So come to that and get some tips and some pointers, but definitely do it, because referrals come from trust. And that's just my opinion. People that you trust, and you're building relationships. And so you're using that networking tool to do that. And
you can't be in every room, right?
No.
You can't be in every room out there where somebody's talking about, let's say, for instance, home care, right? It's because that's what I do. So I can't be in every room and telling people like what Visiting Angels does, like how we can help, different things like that. But by going and networking and telling people what I do, that's, 50, 75 other people that now know what I do. And somebody in their circle, in other circles may say like, yeah, I think I really need to get some home care for my mom, dad, grandpa, brother, sister, husband, wife, whatever. And somebody can say, oh, I know somebody who does that. Right. And that's going to go for those referrals and things like that. If people don't know what you do, they don't know how to find you or to even look for you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and fun fact, like, networking, it doesn't cost you anything. And more than likely, you're going to gain something from each one you come to.
Right.
I don't host the networking events each month because, I necessarily need it. Most of the time I know everybody in the room.
Right.
I'm putting these on for the community and for the business owners to come and learn more about each other.
Right.
And so, the more that we host these, and that's why we've started hosting them in different areas, because, I've had people like, well, I live in Appomattox. I don't necessarily want to drive to Lynchburg every time I want to network. So we're expanding, and we're coming to your area. So take an hour and just drop by, grab some coffee, bring some business cards, and talk to one person, like leave with one person that you've met that you didn't know when you walked in the room.
Right.
And so networking is kind of like the top tool in my, I say in my pocket that I tell people about.
Yeah. And you always want to try and learn somebody else's elevator speech so you kind of know what they do, right? Because if you're trying to learn someone else's, then hopefully someone else will learn yours too. So I think the easiest one to remember is Jeff Woody's, because it's We Wash Houses.
Yeah.
So, but I love his messaging because he keeps it simple. Like that's what we do.
Yeah.
Right. And every time I see him in my head, I think We Wash Houses.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be scary. I think people think, oh, I got to give a 30-second speech.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't have to be scary.
Some
doesn't
people don't have
to be
the ability
crazy
to do a 30-second. Sometimes they, 45, 50 seconds.
Oh yeah. Some people go on.
But some people, it's hard to, people have a hard time talking about themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
So it can be hard to get up there, but you just got to give a simple message, and the easier it is for you to say, the easier it is for them to remember.
Yep.
So
I was going to say short, sweet, and snappy.
Practice at home in the mirror.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I say that all the time. So, so I definitely tell people, get out, get ready to network. You can go, if you're looking for places to network, you can go to our CVABC website. We have all of our upcoming events, but also, check social media. I constantly see people posting. I know, like, for example, this Friday, Jay Brooks with Paul Davis Restoration, they do a coffee and donuts event that they're hosting. And I plan to be there as well because that's an event that I don't host. So I may meet new people at.
Right.
So you can always kind of look and find something somewhere. Join a resource network, like join a group, a leads group, or networking, like a resource group. I know there's people who have done like the BNIs and the 221s, and there's a resource network group in Lynchburg that people can join. And look, there's lots of options. And one thing you can also do is when you're out networking, talk to somebody else and say, hey, where else do you network? Where could I go?
Yeah.
So, there's
more than one option.
Absolutely. So that's my goal for our listeners for the month. Find at least one place to network this month and do it. Just one. And if you want to do more power to you.
Once you do one, it's easy.
Just do one. Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun. I mean, it really is fun. So yeah. So there's that. But yeah, so we have, all of that going on this month, and, we have a lot of bigger events that are going to be coming up soon, but that kind of leads me into some other tools for businesses and kind of what you're doing. We've talked about, I'm already seeing a pattern here at the beginning of this year. Businesses they're struggling. Yeah. It's going to be a little tough. I think we're seeing some impacts with the economy. We've seen small businesses now that are closing, or they just are having to be a little bit more, financially responsible with what they're doing, and they're looking at their budget and their dollars, and what can we afford to do, and what has to be put on the back burner.
Right.
And sometimes, I say this: you have to spend money to make money, but
You've been hanging out in my office today, haven't you?
No, I haven't. Y'all have that talk today?
We did.
So you do have to sometimes spend money to make money, and that goes into like marketing. I see a lot of people that they're like, "Oh, I got to cut all my marketing. We can't do any marketing." Worst decision,
right?
Honestly, because once you stop, you're less likely to start it back up, and then people don't see. Like, you're gone. Like, you're no longer there.
Yeah. Our biggest fan just said months starting with J are typically the lowest production or volume months.
Oh, yeah.
So show up for your local businesses.
Yeah. That's probably, honestly, that's great advice, because I agree with that. January, because people are nervous about the new year. June and July.
Or they're broke from Christmas.
Yeah. Right. June and July, everyone's on vacation, so nobody wants to go do anything, or they're, I get that.
And then Jovember. That's a tough month too.
Yes. So, really just kind of looking at, your marketing, and I guess that kind of puts like social media in there too, but like, how are you looking to market this year?
Yeah. Because marketing doesn't necessarily mean spending money.
Correct.
Right. You've got networking as a form of marketing. You've got, what did you say? Social media, taking advantage of that. Like, it doesn't cost anything except for a little bit of time to sit down and make a post. And of course, if you have a business page, if you're doing it the right way and you have a business page, right? You don't just have a personal page with your name on it, with your business name on it. You can schedule those posts, right? So you can schedule them as far as you could sit down and do it for the whole month. And, so that's one of the things we're working on in our office as well. Because we don't post to Facebook a whole lot, right? So the social medias. So, trying to get out there and do more of that. And we'll get out there. We're sitting in our office, but trying to get more of that and kind of developing a team approach to that, and even kind of using some outside sources for that as well. Yeah. So if you don't have time to manage it, then, sometimes it can be worth spending a little to get someone to do that outside your company. And
I will say, just to touch one more time on the networking part, we have tried to think about, as far as the Central Virginia Business Coalition, because, our organization, we kind of thrive off of membership and sponsorship and people coming to networking events and, growing and referring each other. And so we kind of were thinking about, for us, one of the biggest benefits is actually coming out and utilizing that. And how do we get more people to come and network, come into whether it's coffee talks, ribbon cuttings are a big one, lunch and learns, things like that you can just meet other people. So we are actually kicking off a networking basically incentive this year, and we'll be passing them out starting at hopefully they'll be in time, but they should be at our coffee talks next week. But we have created networking loyalty cards. So they're like Joe Bean's punch cards in a way. And each card has 10 punches on it. So every time you come to a networking function or a ribbon cutting or a lunch and learn or a bagels and any of those sorts of things, we can punch your card. And after you have 10 punches, filled up, you send it in to us. You can either mail it or stop by the office and say, hey, here, it's worth $10. So every punch is $1. And then you can take that $10 and you can use it and say, hey, I want to take $10 off of my ticket to annual dinner, or $10 off my membership fee for next year, or $10 off of a billboard. So, and you can accumulate those throughout the year and you can save them all up for one big, blowout thing. Like, here, I want to use this. But it's a super easy way to actually utilize it and get some money off of some of the bigger things. But you're coming to the events and you're seeing the benefit of networking on top of it. So I'm really excited for that, for that plan. And then we have one of our members is working on creating an app for us that you can also log in to events and click that you were there. So for those of you who don't want to carry around a card, or
who would lose it,
or just maybe you show up one day and go, oh, because I'm the worst about going to Joe Bean's and not having my punch card all the time. I've got like 10 of them, and then I have to show up and be like, hi, can you please merge all 10 of these together and get me my free coffee, because I've gotten like a new card every time I come for 12 different times. So but this will kind of help alleviate that too, because they can clock in too. So we've got kind of two ways to do it. So
I like that.
I'm really excited for this new. I'm hoping it will get more people out and about.
Give them a reason to.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if something easy to do and, doesn't take much effort. So really excited for that.
I like it.
But that's kind of what I'm talking about. Finding new tools that you can use for the new year and things like that. But back to marketing, another thing I was telling people about is like, are you sending, like, we do a newsletter every week. So using things like MailChimp or what are some other
Constant Contact,
like using some of those to get involved or kind of keep in contact with your connections that you may already have. Maybe it's all your clients. Being able to send out information. I did tweak our newsletter a little bit. Did you see it?
I'm behind on email.
Oh my gracious. I sent I tweaked our newsletter a little last week. It has a slightly different look to it. So I'm hoping, I'm still going to be playing with it and tweaking it, but I thought it looked pretty good. So, but we also added, for us, we added the option to add text message. So SMS features. So now our members can sign up for SMS messaging, and we can, do push notifications out. So like the day before coffee talk, that just says, hey, don't forget, we have coffee talk tomorrow in Alta Vista. Hope to see you there. So then we're able to kind of put it first and forefront in their mind versus them going, oh, I forgot about this because, I saw the newsletter last week, but I forgot that it's tomorrow, sort of deal. And also it kind of alleviates too, because I'm sure most of y'all know, like with social media, with the algorithms and stuff, half the time I see an event and it was like yesterday. And I was like, oh, darn.
Right.
If I had known about it, I'd have gone to it. Or if I'd have remembered it, I'd have been there. But
it doesn't send it out.
I don't see it
right away anymore. It's like it holds onto it and then tries to mix it in later.
Yeah. So, using kind of adding this to our toolkit, hopefully we'll put stuff kind of in front of people's minds here and there. And I think, like, for me, I'm more apt to look at a text message. I hate getting constant emails, but like a text message, I'll be like, oh, okay, I see it, go on about my day. But I'm not sending like 5 emails a week about different things.
Right.
So we'll see.
I do like the new layout. So looking at the newsletter, I do like the new layout.
Do you like it? I thought it looked pretty good. I was trying to change it up some, add a little creativity to it, so it didn't just look like flyer
right
stuff. So and we'll have our first this week. We're having a sponsor spotlight section. So I had one of our sponsors do a write-up about themselves, and that's going in this week. So we're going to start highlighting sponsors, and we'll start putting in like a member spotlight and
I like it.
different things to make it, people
A
want
little more content to look at. And
Yeah.
not just flyer.
Correct. And then we put some very strategic rules in place as to, if you send me something and it doesn't follow these guidelines, it's not going in. Not going in.
I like
so, we're just trying to be a little bit more intentional,
right,
with how we're doing our weekly newsletter and how things go in. So, yeah. So what tools does Visiting Angels use that is like I would say one that you use that you see a lot of benefit from? Like, what are some things that you guys implement?
So not necessarily for marketing, but just for general things. So we use Answer Network for answering our phones after hours, things like that, so that we don't have to. So we hand off a phone in the office, and whoever has the phone is on call, but they're not necessarily getting every phone call, right? Mm-hmm. It has to be kind of filtered out through the answering service. So knowing that we can't answer the phone 24/7,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If that call comes in at 3:00 in the morning from somebody looking for care, and they just happen to be up and Googling and they want information, they're like, hey, let me call and leave a message. Like, I used to get those calls live.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a healthy boundary
right.
To have in place. So we use an answering service for that. We have a company that does SEO and website management, things like that.
Yep.
They also help us with recruiting and things like that. We're actually switching companies that do the recruiting process for us. We're in the process of getting that set up.
Mm-hmm.
We use, of course, like a lot of people use QuickBooks, but
right.
we have a couple additions to QuickBooks that we use. Like we have a brand new thing that we just got last week where everybody in the office has a budget for their department or their job, things like that. And so they actually have a card they carry that the budget resets every month, and it makes it a lot easier to get things, to do marketing and things like that, because we're going to start doing a little bit more outreach and things like that. So having little gifts that we can drop off to people, food and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so being able to manage, the biggest reason we hadn't been doing that in the past is because everybody had to come get my card. Right.
Yeah.
And so you've got to catch me in the office. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to go get the thing, bring the receipt back, bring the card back, all that. And this system actually helps us to kind of manage that and give everybody a budget. So like, hey, go get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps us with cash flow, because now instead of it just coming straight out of our bank account, we're paying it at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it to where, because a lot of, I know Ryan Robinson loves the meme, and so do I, the one where it's like, Monday, bank account balance, $75,000.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, bank balance, $5.13.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So with small businesses, a lot of times there's a lot of expenses that go out at once, and, the income comes in, builds up, and then it all goes. And so
right.
you're making sure that you're spending and not putting yourself in a tough position.
Mm-hmm.
It can be hard to keep up with everything that comes out, especially monthly, things like that. So,
yeah.
Which I guess if I use QuickBooks to budget a little bit better, that would probably, but that's another story altogether. So,
yeah.
And what else do we use? So we use a program called Podium that I was excited. There's another local business in our area, Grace Marie. They use it as well
mm-hmm.
for their phone system, and it allows us to text our clients and caregivers and things like that. And everybody in the office has it on their phone and their computer, to where if somebody texts our office, we can answer it, and you don't necessarily know who it's coming from. So I get called ma'am a lot, since I'm the only man that works in the office at our office. So,
mm-hmm.
but it makes it to where it's not on one person to try and keep up with that communication channel.
Okay.
So, that helps a lot. That's probably the biggest thing, and it's not cheap, but it is worth every penny
mm-hmm.
for what we pay for it. So yeah, it's good things.
I think another tool that I use a lot, and I found this, and I think I started using it more last year and am continuing to do it this year, is my Calendly. So for anyone who has or has not ever heard of Calendly, it really did help me, one, with registration. Like if I needed to have, for some of our events, being able to let people register or sign up on my calendar, because I would say, oh, well, let's do this today. And then I would always forget to put it on my calendar. In my head it was there, but it wasn't on my calendar, which then, like, if Megan wanted to look at something and see, like, where's Heather today? Heather knew where she was, but Megan had no clue. Or, she couldn't help me or talk to somebody and schedule something because she, didn't know. Yeah. So Calendly is a great app for anyone who is looking to better manage their calendar, because you can go on your calendar and put like blocked off, like this is what I'm doing today. But like, so for example, every Wednesday from noon to 1, people can go onto our podcast link through Calendly and sign up to be on the podcast. And they know like if that day is open, because it'll tell them it's open, that is okay for them to book to be a guest on the show.
Right.
But then I block off like travel time after and travel time too. So then I don't accidentally have somebody do a one-on-one meeting with me.
You don't have to be in Bedford at 1 and that meeting goes until 2, and then you have to be in Amherst at 2:30.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
So it only lets people book the time that you show available on your calendar. And then once they book it, of course, it takes that slot up.
You can also limit how many meetings you have in a day so that you're not doing back to back to back. And then like you're just frazzled at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
I think that one, and people may have another calendar app that they use, but
there's all sorts of things. You can do it through Google. You can do it through, there's the Fixer AI. There's Fathom, I think does that.
Fixer AI.
It's don't. I tried it. I tried it for a month and it made my inbox chaos. So it's supposed to help manage your email, things like that. I probably just didn't have it set up right, but it was not good to me.
Yeah, I don't like
and
chaos.
then of course the other thing that I use all the time that I almost forgot about just because I actually used it trying to find your goal from last year is ChatGPT.
Yes.
So I pay like the $20 a month, whatever, because it made a flyer for me the other day and it doesn't always get logos and things like that, right? So I was just like, take the logo off and recreate it and just added the logo myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it, was it the best flyer I've ever made? No. Would I have designed it the same? No. But it took 10 seconds compared to 20 minutes of picking a background, pulling it in, setting all the things up. So it was, and it's for a senior networking group. So it wasn't like it was, something that was critical for branding and all that sort of thing. So, but just adding my logo manually afterwards. So
it
was good.
I use I use ChatGPT. I try to do some flyers. Sometimes it just irritates me. Plus, I have a fabulous marketing team here at Media Squatch that does a lot of my flyers. So I also say if it is in your budget to find someone who can handle your social media, your SEO, that sort of thing, definitely look into that. Now, if you're still not at that places, stuff like this, ChatGPT, things like that are good.
With flyers and stuff like that too. Canva is also great.
Yes, Canva is good.
Worth every penny.
I'm not good at Canva, but that's just because I'm just not good at like artsy stuff. I'm not a creative. That's one thing about me. I can think of things, but I can't like put it out there. But there's also, and we're going to cut to commercial in just a second, but I will also just mention really quickly, if you're looking for places like customer relationship management, there's like HubSpot, there's things like that where you can also make other connections with business owners in the area too. Yeah. And I do recommend some Alignable. I think is another one people go on where you can kind of just meet other businesses and kind of like LinkedIn, those sort of things. So those are tools that if you aren't using for your business, you probably should look into potentially using. But I just thought it was a good idea to highlight some of these things, kind of coming off of our goals. But like if you're using your goal, like, mine was to be very intentional on things. What tools am I using to continue that? Like I wanted to be very intentional in what I'm doing and what I'm using going into the new year and kind of set that now. So I wasn't scrambling halfway through, if that makes sense.
100%.
So, all right. Well, we're going to cut to a quick commercial and then we will be back. Hopefully our guests will have called in by then. If not, you'll just hear me and Mike still chatting about probably some more of these types of goals and tools that we can implement in our business. Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full-service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public, showcasing their diverse offering.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg. All right, we're back.
Awesome.
We are back. And Tamika has not called in yet, but I am sure she will. I know she had she was in the middle of like a conference call with, she's a trainer. She trains nurses.
She does
education for healthcare. And so she was going to be doing a training today, but she was going to break them for lunch in enough time to call in and be part of the show. So she did tell me that if she was running a little behind, she would hopefully be able to break them. And yeah. So, speaking of the tools, we have a new tool that the CVABC is also doing, which is Tea Time. I thought maybe we could chat a little bit about Tea Time.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on it last week.
And the episodes have started coming out.
Yeah, they have. I think they look great, not just because we're the hosts and we're on them, but
but they've been
very
came
informative.
together very well. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been very informative. So, for those of you who haven't, for one, if you're not following our Central Virginia Business Coalition Facebook page, go ahead and do that, because we're uploading them to that page. And then you have the opportunity from there to click on the Tea Time videos, which will take you to our new YouTube channel. And then you can subscribe to the Central Virginia Business Coalition YouTube channel, which will have these Tea Times uploaded weekly, but also we're going to start doing other content that will be uploaded to that, as well as our new Instagram account, because we just got that up and going. And so, yeah, like I'm telling you, we're doing all kinds of things. So we're, definitely do that. And you'll be able to see more about our Tea Time videos. And if you are a business that would like to come on Tea Time, you can schedule that as well. We're scheduling kind of the month prior. So like right now we're getting ready to record for February, and then February we'll record for March, and so on and so forth. But it's an opportunity for you to come out and tell your business story. We're kind of talking about the people behind the business, and it's a very quick 15-minute interview.
Yeah, and a very structured interview, which is different for us.
Yeah. So that's something new to look forward to. But we're going to break away from talking about that, because we do have our guest who has called in, and we are excited. I said cited. That's why I've been talking to my 2-year-old granddaughter too much. I'm like, are you excited today?
Right.
So no, excited to talk with Tamika Younger. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you guys for having me today.
I am super glad to have you on the phone. I know you and I have been chatting for the last couple months about your upcoming conference that's happening at the end of the month. And we want to talk about, that and kind of what it's going to be about and how people can still register for it and all those things.
Great. Thank you. And thank you, Heather, for inviting me to come today and call in. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there in person, but I appreciate the opportunity to call in.
So for those of you who have never met Tamika, you're missing out, for one.
Yes.
She is, yes. So she is a fabulous speaker in our area. She's so educated on leaderships, and she's you're John Maxwell certified, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And so she's also extremely talented in the music, and she's in lots of what?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
I know she was in plays, things like that.
Yeah, she's in plays. This girl can sing. But she's also just an overall fabulous individual. So, definitely we've had the pleasure of having her speak at some of our conferences, our women's conference. She's speaking again at Empower this year. So we're glad to have her back. So that's kind of my intro to Tamika and how wonderful she is.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
So tell us a little bit, Tamika, about the conference, like kind of an overall, what it's a 2-day conference. So what is it kind of looking like? What are some of the topics?
Okay, great. So first of all, let me say that this conference was born because I've been teaching leaders for many years, and I have a real heart for leaders because I understand leadership. I'm a registered nurse. I've worked my way through nursing leadership for many years, healthcare leadership in many different ways. And I have been burned out and stressed and tired myself as a leader. And every year when I teach new leaders, I see more of the same. More people who are tired, more people who are burned out, stressed, carrying the weight of the world really on their shoulders. And this past year, after teaching a group of leaders and having them leave, and as they were leaving out, they said, Tamika, every year we come to these trainings with you, whether we need them or not. It's not about CEUs. It's not about, those things. It's because we leave reinvigorated, right? We leave renewed. We leave inspired to keep going. And sometimes we all just need that type of inspiration, right? To keep going, because life is hard sometimes. And especially when we're leaders, post-pandemic, it's been even more challenging than it was before, So that's where this came from. It was just really kind of a God-given vision earlier last year, 2025. And this conference is called the Lead on Fire 2026 Leadership Conference. It is really all about fueling people's flame, elevating their leadership, giving them that love back for what their calling is, reigniting that why. Why did I do this anyway? Because there were times years ago that I asked myself that. Why did I decide to do this? What was my reason? And I needed to find that purpose again. So I wanted to start the year of 2026 with us reigniting our spark, and refueling our purpose. And so this experience is going to really just empower leaders. I hope that that's our goal. And with the speakers that we have and the topics that they're going to be doing, I think this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful conference. Actually, I know it is. So it's going to be 2 days, like Heather said, January 28th and 29th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Lynchburg, Virginia. The hours are 9 to 4 because we just have so much to give you. Lunch is included, and we also have chair massages available during lunch, as well as professional headshots that are going to be done by one of our very own, Maggie Takes Pics. And so we're really excited about that. I wanted this conference to be mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. So, we have some, if you wanted me to talk about some of the speakers, we have some dynamic keynote speakers that many of you probably know. We got Butch Jefferson coming to talk, John Maxwell, emotional intelligence, and how that is so important to leaders. We got Carrie Wright coming to talk about communication for leaders, kind of using some of those Enneagram principles and talking about communication. We got Charity Medina, who's doing a wonderful workshop on the genius of team building and using the 6 working geniuses to put your people in the right places in your organization. So that's going to be phenomenal. I'm so looking forward to that. I have a great friend of mine from Richmond, Virginia, who is she's a social worker, and she's doing a whole segment on mental health for us as leaders, because we are burned out, we are stressed, and we all need to know how to protect our mental health as well. Just so many wonderful topics. I could sit here and just spit them all out. Alicia Childress, who many of you know, is our community cheerleader. She is starting us off with a talk about reigniting your why, figuring out why, and finding that authentic side of you again as a leader. And yours truly will be up there too. I'll be closing out day 1 of this conference. But it's just a wonderful opportunity for leaders to come and get away from all the stress, and spend 2 days with like-minded people. So that's the goal of this conference.
I think that sounds wonderful. I am really excited to be attending the conference. Kind of going back to what you were talking about at the beginning when you were saying that this is for people that are sitting here going, why am I still doing this? Like, what is going on? Burnout is a real thing. And, I talk a lot about how much I love what I do and what I do, with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, but I'm going to be extremely honest and vulnerable right now. The last 2 months have been very difficult. Just looking at, and it's really just like, when you're working so hard, but there's so many things out of your control, very specifically on my end, like what the economy is doing right now and how we're losing business and we're losing like some, sponsors and things like that. It really gets you down and you sit there and you wonder, why do I continue to work so hard? And all these things are changing and you're just not sure what's going to happen month to month. You need something like this where there are people that are inspiring you and helping to build you up and let you see, like, you need to look at a different side of things. There may be something you need to do differently, or you need to just realize that's not in your control and it's okay.
Right.
And there's, things like that. So I'm excited for this conference. My office manager, Megan, is attending it with me too. I think she'll get a lot out of it. Yeah. So hopefully, if you're listening today and this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, you can still register for that, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Registration is open. And Heather, I don't know if you guys have the website, but I can give it here. It's my company is Virginia Adult Care Education, so the website is VACE Training, VACE Training.com, and you can either go directly to that website and just click on Lead on Fire Conference. There's a link there, or you can actually do /lead-on-fire-registration.
Okay.
To register for that conference. For that 2-day conference. I have created, and we can share this on here if you'd like. There is a code for all of my CVABC people because Heather has been so wonderful in helping us and has partnered, CVABC has partnered with us to bring this. So we're just really excited to be able to partner with you on this. So I've created a $50 off code just for my CVABC folks. So would love to have you guys register and be a part of this conference. We also have vendor opportunities available as well. And we're running a vendor special actually between now and January 20th. So if you want to come and display your business, there are people registered all over the state. Okay, so your business will get a great deal of reach if you're able to set up at this conference and be a part of it. So,
yeah, I saw where y'all had the call for vendors. So, hopefully, if there's anyone out there that wants to, highlight their business, they can get registered.
Yeah, Tamika, if you think about it, send me an email.
Yes, and I know.
Yes, I will.
And I know, too, if you're listening in and you want to get a little bit more involved, you do still have sponsorship opportunities.
We do. Yes. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, we do. The sponsorship opportunities are always available. They are available on the website. If you go to that website, you could actually click on sponsors. It shows you all the different sponsorship options and what you get. And actually, we are, as we speak, marketing our sponsors. And so if you want to get your name out there on all of the materials that we're going to be using, all the marketing that we do from now until the conference and thereafter, definitely come be a part of the sponsorships. Honestly, I think the sponsorships are very reasonably priced for what you're getting because there's a lot of marketing involved with this. And of course, on the day of, your name's going to be displayed and mentioned over and over again to people who are at the conference. And again, these folks are coming from all across the state of Virginia. We have Northern Virginia represented, Central Virginia, of course, Tidewater area of Virginia, Southwest Virginia, So folks are coming from all around to this conference, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah. And if they need information on sponsorship, they can reach out to you and get kind of that
Absolutely.
information.
Absolutely. There's some available on the website, but if they have questions and they're just wondering, I have actually put together some personalized sponsorship plans for people. So I'm not opposed to that. If there's something that people want, I am glad to help with that, because the more sponsors we have, honestly, the more we can help other small businesses. And I know that Heather knows this, but that has been one of my goals of this conference, because I'm a small business here in Lynchburg and I work all over the state.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I find is that so many times our small businesses need any extra push we can get, right here in the place we live, because I know how it is. I know how it is as a small business, and I know the challenges that we face. And so part of this is to uplift other small businesses.
Yes.
So as many small businesses or other businesses that we can get as a part of this, I want to promote you. I want to promote you too. So.
Right. Yeah. And I know sometimes, like, you look at this and you're like, oh, it's a 2-day conference. I don't know if I can, make the time to be there. But I highly encourage you as a business owner or leader in your business to make the time. Or even if you have to come for, from 9 to 2, and you may have to cut out for a speaker or something. I mean, even if you have to do that, still, I think this is a great opportunity to come and get, some great information, uplifting, just encouragement.
Yeah.
And you really are hearing from some fabulous speakers.
Yeah, the speaker list is really good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I tried to pull on these fantastic people we have here. And of course, we have many more. I mean, of course, Heather's a speaker as well. We have many more great speakers. But, I tried to pull on the speakers that are here, as much as I possibly could, because I want to give our folks, an opportunity to shine.
Yep.
More.
And I'm so glad you did that and you mentioned that, because I know one of the things, like when I do Lead On and when I do Empower, we've brought in, like for Empower, we've brought in like a keynote from outside of the area, but we do always try and keep our local speakers, out there, because, well, for one, I'm not even gonna lie. Have y'all seen some of the rates these speakers charge?
I'm telling you,
it hurts my feelings. It really does. Which is why I'm gonna start speaking again. So people, if y'all want to hire Heather, it's only $5 billion. No,
right? I still got to send you my invoice for a Lead On last year.
Yeah, but I mean, it does give our local speakers the opportunities to get their name out there, and why not? They offer some great insight. And I do get a lot of compliments from people for that, about thinking about using local versus.
And I think by using local sponsors, I mean, local speakers too, you also have like the unique perspective of how it is in our area.
Right.
Right. Because you've got somebody that's come from somewhere, a really big city or something like that. And, and they come here and they're like, oh yeah, just reach out to, your 42 different competitors. And it's like, we don't have 42 competitors that do what we do. Right. So, it's a completely different game when you get, like for my industry, there's like maybe 8 competitors. Right. And I'm just throwing a number out there because I'm not really sure how many it is, because some go in, some come out and things like that. But where Visiting Angels is based in Pennsylvania, there's 142 competitors with the office that is where Visiting Angels is based, right? So it's a completely different marketing game, things like that. Like you've got to be a lot more aggressive and things like that. Whereas, here you just need to find what works, right? So
that's right.
And
that's
especially dealing with stress in a larger city and a smaller town, that sort of thing. So I love that we have the local speakers and being able to kind of bring it back to local, to
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
We have some dynamic people. I mean, anyway, gems, and not just speakers, but business owners and businesses, really, Lynchburg is a real gold mine when it comes to that. And so I wanted everybody to get a piece of this, just to have a piece of this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be a wonderful conference. I cannot wait for it. If you're listening, get your tickets. What you're leaving, registration is open until what date?
registration is going to be open until the 26th, actually.
Okay.
So you still have some time, still have 2 full weeks. Now, try not to wait till the 26th if you can help it.
Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
You have until the 26th. But we live in, late Lynchburg sometimes. And so I know sometimes we wait until later. I do it too. I look at conferences and I say, I have some time, and then time creeps up on us. But as soon as you can would be great. But come, no matter what, come. That's what we want. And we will make you feel comfortable there. And I think you will have a fantastic time. In fact, I know you will. It's going to be a great time. Come get a chair massage if nothing else.
I know, right? That's what I am ready for that.
How tight is security at this event?
But-
I'm just looking for a chair massage.
Oh, but also I will say to our CVABC members, if you come to the Lead on Fire conference, you will get a flyer that day too that will give you a discount to attend Lead On and Empower. So you'll be able to kind of get these 3 conferences in right here at the beginning of the year and get some discounts on the others. So that's another way to just save some money. So before we
if there are any healthcare providers listening, I'm sorry, Heather.
No, go ahead.
If there are any healthcare providers listening, I just wanted to say that you will earn 10 CEUs. My company accredits all of our trainings, and so I'm going to accredit all of these trainings under that national organization. So if you're a healthcare leader, you might get some CEUs out of this too. 10 CEUs are going to be accredited. This conference is accredited for 10 CEUs.
And that's really awesome because, I know people are always looking at how they can get those credits and being able to do it right here in our area and not have to drive anywhere out of town for
have to do an online course and yell at your computer because
and then it's boring.
Go to the next thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So Tamika, before we let you go, can you just tell us one more time the date and location for the conference?
Absolutely. Lead on Fire 2026 Leadership Conference is January 28th through 29th at the Hilton Garden Inn, Lynchburg, Virginia, right on Wards Road in Lynchburg, Virginia, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Registration will open at 8, so you'll have a whole hour for networking, a light breakfast, and registering, and then we will begin promptly at 9 o'clock.
Perfect. And I think what we'll do normally at the end of every show, we take a picture with our guest so that we can put that up. So I'm thinking for this show, what we'll do instead of putting up a picture, because obviously Tamika isn't here with us, we'll go ahead and put up a picture of the flyer for the conference.
Sounds good.
And
Wonderful.
That way people can see that information.
You mean I dressed up today for nothing? I put pants on and everything.
Put pants on and everything.
Gosh.
I brushed my hair for this. But yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, Tamika, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have a class to get back to because you are busy. But thank you for joining us and telling us more about this conference. And hopefully we will get some people registered for it and learning with all these great speakers.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me today. And I'll see you guys at the conference.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying anyway.
Yes,
I'll
you
see
will.
You at the conference.
I hope so. I'm gonna look at my schedule and see if I can make it work. So
thank you, Tamika.
Okay, Mike, come on.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Have a good one.
Bye.
It's always great talking to her.
It is. Oh my gosh, she is just the sweetest.
She is.
So uplifting. And just all around good person.
Right.
So definitely I encourage you if you're listening to, head out. Just go, what we should do? Woody's going to hate me, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh no.
Because
we should just do the podcast from there.
Yes. How cool would that be to do an on-site podcast at the Lead on Fire conference?
Yeah.
Even if we don't do a full-on hour, because you and I both want to attend. And
we should do it during lunch and just walk around and interview people.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. All right.
Woody, put the knife down. Woody, put the knife down.
Woody, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to discuss it later. It'll be all right. Anyway, but it would be kind of cool. On location. We've done a few of those and they've actually been really well received.
We have.
They're really cool.
I like it.
So, well, you got anything else for today?
No.
No, me either. You can go put your pants, take your pants
I
off.
know.
and go
Iron them, hang them back
take a
up.
nap.
Like, I'm good to go. So,
Oh, goodness. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Talk Local to Me today. Hopefully, you have gotten a little insight on some tips and tools you can use going into the new year.
Yeah.
And also, again, a big thank you to Tamika for joining us by phone to tell us more about the conference. And if you want information about the events that we've talked about today, or how to be a member with the CVABC, or more information about the Lead on Fire conference, because we do have their information on our site, you can go to
cvabc.org. Have a great week. Keep up with those goals. We'll see you next Wednesday.